absolutely right. You can read me like a book sometimes, can't you?
It's not difficult.
I would suggest that schools begin to recruit teachers from the army to sort the pupils out.
Well, I've actually spent some time considering how you might perceive this decision by Mr. Cameron. And the one idea I've come up with, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought you'd be in favour of tying up the kids and, as you said last week, lashing them to a chair.
I've got no objection to corporal punishment, to physical punishment. No objection to that at all. Tie them to a chair if you like and lash them with a cat o' nine tails. Strip them naked, line them up in the playground and douse them with freezing cold water from a high pressure hose. Sort the little blighters out.
Yeah, get proactive, get stuff done, eh?
Get stuff done. Get stuff done. But give schools teeth.
Were you ever lashed to a chair, Richard?
I was reprimanded around my buttocks on more than one occasion with a plimsoll.
Really?
Yes.
Perhaps that's because you didn't study English well enough for coming out with ridiculous phrases like lashing them to a chair.
There's nothing wrong with the English there, Nathaniel.
It's completely incorrect.
Is it?
Totally.
In what way?
Well, you could twist it in a different way to make it actually legible and proper English by saying something like, tie them to a chair and lash them.
I'm sorry, Nathaniel. I have to disagree. The word lash can mean two things. You're correct. It means to lash, as in to hit with a whip or some such. But if you lash something, you can also be tying it down. Some words, Nathaniel, have more than one meaning. I don't know if you've figured this out yet.
I have figured that out, yes.
So the point, all you're doing here is making yourself look foolish.
No, I think you'll find that's quite the opposite.
Right.
Go away and have a chat with someone who has a modicum of English.
Okay.
And,
well, we'll have to agree to differ on this one, Nathaniel.
Okay, fair enough.
Now, if a child is put into detention, the parent should be legally obliged to attend as well, even if that means leaving work, or, much more likely, leaving the pub.
You'd like to see that implemented, would you?
Absolutely, I would.
Yeah?
Think about little Johnny causing problems. Teacher gives him a detention, has to go home and tell his mum and dad, oh, by the way, you've got to come into school tomorrow at 3:30 for an hour because we've all got family detention. How's that going to go down?
Well, given the state of many of the families in society at the moment, Richard, I suspect that the parents wouldn't really give a flying.
But if they didn't turn up, that's when you start to cut the benefits.
Right, okay.
You see?
I'm with you.
The two things are linked together.
Yeah. You have a point.
The punishment for the child has to impact the parent as well. Otherwise, you're quite right. The parents are so ineffective, they don't care. They do nothing about their children's behaviour. So you have to start punishing the parent too.
Do you think it could ever get to the stage where it starts sterilising parents, Richard?
Oh, I long for that day, Nathaniel. I long for that day. At 16, you should be given... Oh, well, actually, I'll say 16. Maybe it needs to be younger these days. The age people are getting pregnant.
Yeah.
Let's say 14, you're given an IQ test and pass or fail. You fail. Cut your balls off.
There we go. It'll certainly have an effect in some way, Richard. I'm not sure to be altogether positive.
Teachers should be allowed to handcuff troublesome children.
Handcuff and seems quite lame for you.
Handcuff them to a radiator or to some static object that they can't get away from.
Right.
Handcuff them. Every school should have a prison.
Yeah.
If a child misbehaves, they're in prison for 24 hours with only bread and water. Continual offenders should have the privilege of bread removed also.
I think a cattle prod might be a healthy introduction.
I totally agree. Senior management should have the right to use pepper spray on troublemakers.
The only problem I foresee, Richard, it's been a little too left-wing for your liking, I guess, but we might not get any kids actually turning up to school.
At that point, we punish the parents. It's easy.
It would certainly have an effect on society, and it would kind of reduce the levels of society.
You think?
Numerically. People would stop bleeding, Richard, in that circumstance.
And would that be a bad thing?
I don't think it necessarily would, no. So, despite the outlandish criminal viewpoints that you have on the subject, like you do have on so many subjects, within it, if you search hard enough, there is a viable point.
Reward the well-behaved, Nathaniel. That's the thing. My message is a positive one. Reward the well-behaved and force those who go without due to their behaviour to watch the well-behaved receive their reward, whilst teachers stand around them in a circle, laughing and pointing and telling them that they're shit.
Have you ever thought about teaching, Richard?
I do occasionally teach media studies.
Yes, I remember you saying a couple of weeks ago, yeah.
But it's not school children, to be fair. It's college age, so they are blossoming into adulthood at that point.
And you ever employed such tactics as the one?
Well, it's just not. It's simply not possible to do at the moment, unfortunately. The coddling society that we currently live in prohibits any genuine punishment.
Well, surely you could round up some of your teacher colleagues, use your celebrity status to give it some impetus and gather some dullard idiots that you teach and put them in a circle and laugh at them. Surely.
Unfortunately, no matter how stupid the student or pupil is, they all seem to know their rights.
Yeah.
They can't learn their 10 times table, but they know their rights.
Well, that's a difficult one.
I recommend bringing back the cane, bring back the birch, introduce even stocks, put them in stocks, and troublesome sorts can be pelted with excrement.
You evil swine.
And that's all from Passive Aggressive Film Reviews this week. We'll be back a week from now, where once more we will look at a movie on current release, we'll delve into the movie archives, and we'll tackle one of the hot issues of the day. Thank you very much.
Thank you all.